right. I wanted to talk about the Adam22 Lena the plug thing that's all over the internet at the moment. Do you know much about these people?
I've only seen a few things and what you've told me.
Yeah, I've just kind of become acquainted with them a little bit more recently because they've just been everywhere online. I've always known about him. Adam22, he's like a podcast host. He hosts a podcast called No Jumper, which like I think he helped. He didn't discover him, but he helped popularize XXX Tentacion. Interviewed him. That interview has like millions and millions of views and really kind of blew him up. And then he went and beat the shit out of his pregnant girlfriend, whatever. But huge rap show, right? So deeply involved with black culture and hip hop and all that kind of stuff. But what's also interesting about him is he does porn with his wife, who did not do porn until she met him. And then they started fucking girls together, and they have this show, which I'm going to use conflicting language here, because the marketing and social media brain inside of me thinks this is so smart and so fucking genius, and then the how would this affect my personal life, and is this a good thing to do in general side of me is going, what the fuck are they doing, right? So it's like at once genius and probably a bad idea. So he started doing porn with his wife, and they have a genius, amazing idea for a show that's only on OnlyFans, where they do a podcast with a girl and then they fuck her together. And that's such a funny, interesting, cool idea. Interview with a porn star. Those are always interesting. I love listening to them. It's a fascinating life. I've done one, just the interview side, that'll come out after my surgery. But then they fuck them. So you can be like, cool. Now we can see them all have sex. And, his wife is good looking. He's got a big dick, and, they're porn stars, and they've done hundreds of these episodes. So they together have had sex with hundreds and hundreds of girls. She's never done a scene with a guy. I think she's done some solo stuff, but only ever with women, and only ever under their umbrella of Plug Talk or whatever it is. 2 weeks ago or last week, she does her first ever solo scene with a guy, and they start hyping it up, and they pick this dude who I'd never heard of, a guy called Jason Love, who's like, of course, the biggest black guy you've ever seen in your fucking life. He's like 6'5". He looks like he weighs like 200 kilos, jacked, covered in tattoos, dick as big as my forearm, literally. It's someone taped 3 Coke cans together lengthways and fucking put it on top of a dude. They've been promoting this thing like I felt like it was the amount that I was seeing this, it was like it was a new Avengers film. That's like I was seeing it fucking everywhere. It's like finally our 2 favorite superheroes are fucking uniting. But what's interesting about it is because Adam22, he's super involved in black culture and hip hop culture and all that kind of stuff. He's now like kind of participating in the fetishization of like black men, and which he already was like getting a lot of flack for like profiting off of gang violence and like, being the white guy that's making all this money off these like young black kids who a lot of the time he would get gang members on who don't even rap and ask them about beefs that would then result in real world violence, because one gang member would go on this platform that gets like 300,000 views, 1 million views, and go fuck the other side. And then the other side will go, well, we're going to kill him, or we're going to kill some of their team. And he would, not cause it, but aggravate it, and knew the effect of that. So it's like not exactly great, but then now people would criticize him for that, like, oh, you're fueling black violence. And now people are going, oh, now you're fueling fucking fetishization of black dudes and pimping out your wife, and you're a cuck and you're getting off on this. But then there's the other thing of like, well, they've been fucking women, like hundreds of women for years.
Yeah.
So now it's fair, is what a lot of other people are saying. But now what's fucking amazing is Adam and Jason are beefing. Because Jason did a bunch of, it's like, man, it is so Like, I love it. It's so fucking genius. The marketing controversy brain in me is like, this is amazing. It's masterful. I've never seen anything like it. It's playing everyone really, really well. If they're doing this by choice and they're manipulating on purpose, fucking genius. He gets this guy to fuck his wife, which is insane. Super viral immediately. Everyone's fighting over it. He starts joking about it and publicly talking about how proud he is of his wife. He buys her a Lamborghini Urus car and films a video going, I'm congratulating my wife on her first BBC scene, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah.
Like, the marketing in me is like, that's amazing. The human in me is like, they have a kid. They got a little girl. It's not good. But then so she does this scene and it goes super viral. And they're really protecting it. You can't really get clips of it anywhere because obviously everyone just wants to pirate it, but OnlyFans is really good at protecting copyright now automatically. So it just became the most sold video ever in the history of OnlyFans in like a week, which would just be, I assume, fucking millions, right? For Jason and for Adam and Lena. But they're going back and forth and memeing about it, and everyone's like disgusted and horrified and outraged, but an unbelievable amount of people are like watching it and jacking off to it and are like stoked. So after the video comes out, Adam does like a post-game interview with his wife on his huge podcast talking about her fucking this other dude, right? And they get him on the show through Zoom, and he's like, thanks so much for fucking my wife and all this kind of stuff. Like, all these things that are so clearly designed to be clipped and go viral. And it's all I'm seeing on TikTok and Twitter is just these interview clips and everyone just calling Adam a bitch and trying to make fun of him and him just going, yeah. I mean, like, I watched the video and I thought it was hot. I've had fun and I'm proud of her and we made a lot of money. And he's like playing everyone like a fiddle and all this kind of stuff. And from that perspective, it's like amazing and genius. But then it's like, everyone else is like, dude, you got a kid. This is your wife. What are you doing? All that kind of stuff. Anyway, Jason Love, the male porn star, the black guy, he does an interview with, I just saw a clip of it on TikTok. It's this girl that just interviews male porn stars about their job, right? And she's talking to him about the scene, and he starts saying that, like, the girl's like, so do you think you did a good job? And he was like, I fucked her the best she ever had in her life, and starts talking about how he fucked her so much better than her husband did and all this kind of stuff. Like, she's going to be thinking about it for months and there's no way he could do better than me. I was holding back. I could have gone even better and all this kind of stuff. And his dick's bigger and better and all this kind of like disrespectful shit. Right. So now Adam is coming back and saying that's disrespectful. If I'm going to let you fuck my wife, you have to respect me, which is just like a wild fucking sentence. So like either this is all fake and even the beef is fake. And if that's true, that's fucking genius. If the beef is real, it's so sad because there's nothing you can say. He's going, oh, don't make me expose you for, and you know what I'm talking about. And it's like, bro, he fucked your wife. Yeah. It's over. You can't win in people's eyes. You're not gonna debate your way out of this one. Like, you've just lost. We know how the internet is. Cuck jokes are what like you call anyone a cuck and you can win any argument. Yeah. And that's if you've never let someone fuck your wife. If you've actually let someone fuck your wife, like Sneako's never coming back from that. But what I think about it is like, I think it's fucking genius and it's all I'm seeing on the internet. It's fucking blown up the internet. They've sold more copies of it than you could ever fucking imagine. They would have made millions of dollars. But here's what I think. He's already both of them are already multi-millionaires. Did the amount of money, the amount of extra money they make, is that going to impact their life in a way that makes it worth it enough to subject yourself and your family and your child to this level of public ridicule? Like, how much has it changed their life? Probably Like, what's the difference between having like $5 million and having $15 million lifestyle wise if you're not going to retire, which they're not? Like, your life doesn't change. You could get a Lamborghini car, but you already have a luxury car. Like, the amount of extra, like that's the thing that they're justifying it of like, oh, we've made all this money, but like you already have made all of this money. Yeah. Like, why do you need more? So that to me means that like, well, then obviously it's just like a sexual gratification thing where like you get turned on by someone else fucking your wife, which, okay, right? If you're into that, whatever, that's not for me. But a lot of people are into that. Don't post it.
Yeah.
You got kids, you know? And people are going, oh, but, you know, they fuck girls together. Yeah, probably don't do that either. You know? Like, people are going, oh, what about they've been fucking girls forever? And most people are like, yeah, probably shouldn't do that either. That's all that that's the only thing that I think is like, I think sex work is real work. I don't think sex workers should be shamed and all that kind of stuff. I do think though that it's you got to ask yourself like, how is this going to affect my kid?
Yeah,
you know, because you can't. Everybody knows that bullying is wrong and all this kind of stuff, and we've known that for decades, and it still happens, and it will always happen, and you're definitely going to subject your child to that, and you know, like I was looking at porn when I was. Man, I think some other kid showed it to me when I was maybe 11. Yeah, you know, now it's like 6, 7, because kids have their own smartphones and they can just, you know, like on fucking TikTok and stuff. Every single comment is like cock and is it grippy and it's so super sexual. That's all kids.
Yeah.
I'm saying this as someone who was a father for temporarily a father for a while. Like, it's everywhere. You can't avoid it. And kids are going to see it. And I just think that whatever, you were fucking people before you had a kid. You were fucking heaps of girls. Okay, all good. The amount of ridicule that this poor little girl and any other kid they have is gonna cop because of this shit is like, can't be worth it. Are you going to homeschool her? Are you going to stop her from having a smartphone and seeing mummy get fucked by some other dude and that other dude saying he's better than daddy? You know, like, I think that when you have kids, it goes beyond like, if you're single and you're not planning on kids and whatever, it's like, yeah, cool, do it, whatever. Doesn't hurt anyone. A lot of people really enjoy it. A lot of people pay for it. You're going to make a lot of money. But when you got a kid, man, I don't know, couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's weird, especially when you have an unbelievably successful business that has nothing to do with porn. You know, like No Jumper, the podcast and the Patreon and the merch. And he has like 5 other different bits. I think he has like BMX stuff and so many other things where if you took porn away, you probably wouldn't even feel the difference financially too much, because once you have like 10 mil, your life can't change unless you get to like a couple hundred. Like, really, I don't think your life can change so much that it's worth the amount of fucking ridicule to your children.
Yeah, that's true.
But pretty funny to fuck a guy's wife and then do an interview about how much better you are than him. Just knowing that like while you're still making money from it, because they have a revenue split that is contractual, they could, you know, doesn't matter what he does, he could kill someone, that money would still be going into his bank account every month. It's pretty funny to do that and then go, yeah, say what you want, still counts, you know? What's that? Doesn't matter, had sex.
Yeah.
What's that song? I just had sex. Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a little bit, I think that it's totally fine. And then I think about them being parents and I'm like, a little bit yucky, I reckon. And I also think that it's like, it's one thing if you're into that type of stuff sexually, right? Sure, maybe you're into that. And maybe you're even into the humiliation thing. Like, there are so many dudes that are into someone else fucking their wife and then their wife telling them it's better, right? That's a thing, right? That's what cuckoldry is, right? If you're into that, cool. I'm sure that's super fun for you and your wife and Tyrone. Is it still fun if there's a million other people also going, you're a loser, you suck, you're like, I would argue probably not anymore. Like, you know, I always thought, like, I always, it's all this sex stuff like fascinates me. Because everyone has those horny moments where you'll watch a porn and then you'll turn it off and you go, I'm disgusting, right? But that's porn. It didn't happen, right? Surely there's going to be heaps of dudes that have that halfway through someone else fucking their wife. But it's too late. But there's probably an even bigger percentage that have that feeling while they're doing the dishes 6 months after it happened. You know what I mean? Like you're just fucking doing the dishes and then you just remember when it slipped out and she put it back in and you're like, what have I done? What have I done? Or while you're dropping your kids off at school. And that's when none of the other parents know about it. You know what I mean? Imagine having that feeling and then all of the parents are like, oh, you're the fucking dude that let some other like you're the parent of the kid who I can't let my kid Google because if my kid Googles your kid, they're gonna find your wife getting fucked by some other dude. Because that's what it is, right? If you know, you look up at that's what it's gonna be, right? Where when this kid grows up and her peers, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, search her up on Twitter, they're going to find her name and then just in the suggested, it's going to be her mum getting fucked. And I can't see it being worth it. And there's certainly an argument to be made of like, oh, well, that's wrong and that shouldn't happen and they shouldn't be shamed and kids shouldn't be bullied for what their parents do. And yeah, all of that is true, but it's also going to happen. So it's like this weird thing of like, yeah, I agree with you. It's bad things shouldn't happen and people shouldn't be mean, but we know that they will be and we know that they are. So how much of a moral stance are you gonna sacrifice your child to take up?
Did you ever watch those documentaries on Netflix like 10 years ago when they first came out about life after porn? And
no, I want to because it looked fascinating.
Yeah, I remember one woman on there was like not even a big porn star, but she did it in the 90s and then she had kids early 2000s.
Yeah.
Everyone knew. And it wasn't even like an internet thing. It was just like she did a few DVDs or something.
Yeah.